sequences, converting recursive and explicit forms of geometric sequences. Okay, so what we have here is we want to go from an explicit to recursive formula on this. So we want the very first term here. So this would be our very first term right there. So our very first term would be 45. This 4/5 signifies our rule, and that would go into the second box. And our rule is always attached to the n minus 1. So the first box here, they want to know what f of 1 is. F of 1 is 45 because that's the very first number you see after the equal sign. And then the 4/5 signifies what the rule is. The rule is after the f of n minus 1. So we want to type in 4/5. So 4/5 on this. Let's give it a shot. Okay, again, we want to go from recursive to explicit here. So this is our first term. So our first term right here. So f of n. Let me write this better. So I want to go f of n in parentheses. So f of n is equal to the very first term. So the very first term is 4. This is our rule here. So we want to go ahead and times by a negative 0.5. So that's what we're timesing by. And then we always want to finish with the n minus 1 as the exponent. So we start off with the 4. So we say 4 times. Now remember, like I said, we have to use parentheses here. So we're going to say a negative 0.5. So we want to go 0.5. And now we want to use the A-B key here to get our exponents up. Let's use some more parentheses here. So use the parentheses here, and let's go n minus 1. So n minus 1. Remember, you want to use parentheses around the second number, and you want to use parentheses around the n minus 1 because it keeps everything as an exponent. And like I say, for some strange reason, Khan Academy, they need the parentheses here because they are going to mark it wrong. Next question, we want to take this recursive and make it into an explicit formula here. So this is our very first term. So we come down here and we say f of n. This is going to be a negative 1.8. And then whatever comes after the parentheses, that's what our rule is. So our rule is 9. And remember, we always finish with the n minus 1. In this case here, it's an exponent. So let's go ahead and type in our formula. So the very first term we see is a negative 1.8. We're going to say times. So remember, we got to use parentheses here. So the number we're going to put in parentheses is a 9. Now we want to use n minus 1, but we want it as an exponent, so we're going to press the A-B key. Remember to use the parentheses again and then type in n minus 1, and by doing so it'll keep everything as an exponent. And like we talked about before, make sure you put the second number in parentheses. Okay, we want to go from recursive to explicit. So let's take a look at this one. So we're going to start with h of n. So we're going to say h of n is equal to, our very first term is negative 5.3. And we want to times it by our rule. And remember, our rule comes after the n minus 1. So our rule is a negative 11. And then we're going to use an exponent of n minus 1. So let's type this in. So we're going to say negative 5.3. So negative 5.3 times. Now again, like we talked about before, we want to use parentheses for the second number, what the rule number is. In this case here, the negative 11. We want to come out of this. We want to press the AB key to make the exponents, and again we want to use parentheses for that. So now we just type in n minus 1, and by doing so you keep everything as an exponent. If you don't, then when you type it in, the n will be the exponent and then the minus 1 will drop on you. So if you keep again that as parentheses around there, you'll keep your answer up in the top as an exponent. So let's go and check this.